And hantavirus cases in Argentina have almost doubled in the past year, with the country recording 32 deaths alongside its highest number of infections since 2018. The rise comes as Argentine authorities race to trace the footsteps of a couple who travelled extensively in the country and later died amid an outbreak of the virus on the cruise ship MV Hondius, which left port in Ushuaia, southern Argentina, on April 1 and is currently on its way to Spain's Canary Islands.
Ali al-Samoudi gingerly walks down the steps toward his home. The 59-year-old Palestinian journalist is gaunt, with closely cropped grey hair and a matching beard. Each cautious step he takes reveals the physical toll of all he has endured that has aged him beyond his years.
Inside the dusty, dimly lit cotton recycling unit, Rajesh stands beside a shredding machine feeding white fabric into sharp blades. These are the remnants of clothes discarded in the United States, the United Kingdom, Japan and elsewhere that arrive in the northern Indian city of Panipat by the truckload, spilling over in loose, overflowing heaps.
And the exodus of a large number of multinational companies, MNCs, over the past 2 years should have raised red flags among policymakers and the IMF. Instead, it has been met with a business-as-usual approach. And despite the glib explanation of how global capital allocation decisions were the main factor behind the high-profile exits, 3 associated facts point clearly to deeper issues closer to home. And the first is the sheer number of companies choosing to exit in conjunction with the wide range of sectors the MNCs were involved in, ranging from telecoms to mobility to oil and gas, among others. And the second fact is that many of the MNCs exiting the country had been operating profitably for decades. They had weathered many crises in Pakistan, including conflicts and disturbed internal security conditions for prolonged periods. Clearly, and an inflection point of sorts was reached over the past 4 years, compelling them to pull the plug. And the strain had been there for a while when reports emerged that Pakistanis were being rounded up in the UAE and deported. The details, though, have not been verified, and yesterday, Pakistan's Interior Ministry strongly denied accusations of country or sex-specific expulsions of Pakistanis from the UAE or anywhere for that matter. And it posted on X that it was aware of the speculative reporting in sections of media, especially social media, about targeted deportations of Pakistani nationals from brotherly Islamic country of UAE. Earlier, the Foreign Office spokesperson too, and when asked about the unusually high number of emergency exit documents issued by the Pakistani mission in the UAE, had stated these were on account of administrative actions and including immigration status violation and other legal infractions. On his part, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, too, expressed solidarity with the UAE by condemning the missile and drone attack purportedly carried out by Iran on its soil.
Islamabad. Iran's ambassador to Pakistan, Dr. Reza Amiri Moghadam, believes the region could witness new political alignments once the ongoing war involving the United States and Israel comes to an end. He was speaking at a roundtable hosted by the Centre for International Strategic Studies, CSS Islamabad, where diplomats, academics and policy practitioners discuss the future course of Pakistan-Iran ties and the evolving regional situation as the conflict continues under what participants described as a delicate ceasefire.
KYIV, a large forest fire burned through the Chernobyl exclusion zone on Friday following a drone crash near the disaster-tainted nuclear plant the previous day. Ukrainian authorities said radiation levels at the site were within normal limits. Authorities reported, adding that firefighters were working to contain the blaze.
And London. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer vowed on Friday to stay in office to deliver change after his Labour Party suffered heavy losses in English local elections and parliamentary votes in Scotland and Wales, and deepening doubts over his ability to govern. Just under 2 years after winning a landslide national election, Starmer saw voters punish his Labour government, and with support evaporating even in its traditional strongholds in former industrial regions of central and northern England, as well as in Wales. And Washington. The White House signed off on a plan to fire Food and Drug Administration. FDA Commissioner Marty McCarry, according to sources familiar with the matter, in what could be the next leadership change within the Federal Health Department. The Wall Street Journal first reported on Friday that President Donald Trump planned to fire McCarry.
Priya Vihir Siem Reap provinces, when asked how she spends her day, 11-year-old Sokna rattled off a list of chores. She first fetches water, then washes dishes and sweeps the leaves and dust from around the blue tarpaulin tent her family now calls home, in the grounds of a Buddhist pagoda in northwestern Cambodia. Islamabad, short-term inflation measured by the Sensitive Price Index, SPI, surged by 15-16% year-on-year in the week ending May 7th, driven largely by higher retail prices of petroleum products and eatables, according to official data released on Friday. The increase in SPI was a broad-based cost shock reflecting persistent cost of living pressures. This was mainly driven by the sharpest annual increases in petrol, 58.3 PC, diesel, 55.8 PC, 52.6 PC, wheat flour, 50.7 PC, and LPG, 48.8 PC.
As the MV Hondius cruise ship approaches Tenerife, the people of the Spanish island await it with a mixture of uncertainty and, in some cases, anger. The Spanish government has agreed with the World Health Organization that the passengers of the vessel, which has seen an outbreak of the hantavirus, should be allowed to disembark there this weekend. It has travelled from Cape Verde, where 3 people were evacuated due to illness.
Hungary's new Prime Minister Peter Magyar is set to be sworn in, almost a month after he steered his Tisza party to a landslide victory, sweeping away 16 years of rule by Viktor Orban. Tisza holds 141 seats out of 199 in the new parliament, up from 0, a result of the party being founded just 2 years ago. Surrounded by rows of costumes, reggaeton superstar J Balvin fuels up in his dressing room as thousands of people in the coastal Colombian city of Barranquilla wait outside for his raucous 5-hour live performance to begin. The moment of calm belies what is turning out to be an unstoppable year for the Colombian, who FIFA announced on Friday as one of the stars headlining the World Cup's opening ceremony in Mexico City on June 11.
San Francisco real estate has never been very accessible, but the record sales happening right now, so in the city's high-end market, are testing the upper limits of what even this famously unaffordable city thought was possible. Consider a 6-bedroom, 5,700 square foot home in Cow Hollow, one of San Francisco's most coveted neighborhoods. It was listed 2 weeks ago at $7.95 million, so not cheap. It just sold for $15 million. The sellers, who bought the property for $7.8 million in the summer of 2020, as the pandemic was pushing residents out of cities, nearly doubled their money in under 5 years.
As was widely reported, Oracle axed an estimated 20,000 to 30,000 people via email on March 31. One of the employees cut that day told TechCrunch about the experience. I had like this weird feeling in my stomach. I went to go sign into the VPN, and the VPN was like, this user doesn't exist anymore. Then I called my friend and I was like, hey, can you see me in Slack? And she said, no, your account's been deactivated.
Laura Fernandez has been sworn in as Costa Rica's new president and has vowed to fight rising crime in the Central American country, as well as maintain close ties with the United States. Fernandez defeated a crowded field in the February 1 vote to replace outgoing President Rodrigo Chaves, who has remained a close ally of US President Donald Trump.
And Amazon is adding a short-form video feed to the Prime Video app called Clips. The company announced on Friday rolling out first in the US. Clips will include, clips of shows on Prime Video that are designed to hook a viewer and get them to give the full show a try. From that clip, users can add a title to their watch list, share it with a friend, or navigate to rent, buy, or access the title through their subscription.
Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer and his Labour Party suffered significant losses in local elections. Despite his huge majority in Parliament, he's rejecting calls to resign, but faces new challenges from both the left and right. Bloomberg has a deep dive this week into how Intel CEO Lip Bhutan is trying to rescue one of Silicon Valley's most storied and stumbling chip makers. It's worth a read, but it actually undersells the most jaw-dropping part of the story. Intel stock has risen a stunning 490% over the past year, a bet by Wall Street that may be running well ahead of the company's actual turnaround. Tan, who took over in March of last year, has spent much of his first year schmoozing rather than restructuring, locking in a sweetheart deal with the US government, now Intel's third largest shareholder, cozying up to Elon Musk on a factory partnership and reportedly landing preliminary manufacturing agreements with both Apple and Tesla.
Southeast Asian leaders have agreed on measures aimed at reducing the impact of the Iran war on their economies, but conceded that the initiatives will take considerable time to come into effect. On Friday, leaders gathered in the Philippines for a summit of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz dominating the agenda. United States President Donald Trump says there will be a 3-day ceasefire in the war between Russia and Ukraine. Posting on Truth Social on Friday, the US leader said the truce would last from Saturday to Monday.
And 4 people have been convicted in the United States in connection with the 2021 assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse. Arcangel Pretel Ortiz, Antonio Intriago, Walter Ventimilla and James Soliges were found guilty on Friday of conspiring to kill or kidnap Moïse, whose assassination left a political vacuum in the Caribbean nation that has compounded overlapping security and humanitarian crises. And Libya's largest operational oil refinery at Zawiya has been shut down and an emergency declared following fighting between armed groups nearby. The National Oil Corporation, NOC, and Zawiya Refining Company announced a precautionary halt to operations and evacuated employees from the oil complex and
Porsche is closing 3 of its subsidiaries as it copes with falling sales and declining profits, the German automaker announced Friday. The automaker's battery subsidiary, Cellforce Group, is perhaps the highest profile casualty. The division had already been through a realignment in August after Porsche dropped plans to make its own batteries, turning Cellforce into a research and development arm. Now, Porsche says it's pursuing a technology-open powertrain strategy, corporate speak that indicates the automaker will rely more heavily on other companies for its batteries.
Cloudflare on Thursday joined a growing list of tech companies, including Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon, that have reported increased revenue alongside massive layoffs, attributing both trends to their use of AI. Cloudflare, which provides internet security and performance services to millions of websites worldwide, announced it was cutting its workforce by approximately 20%, which equates to 1,500 people, it said as part of its first quarter 2026 earnings report on Thursday.
Instagram users will no longer have fully private direct messages after Meta disabled end-to-end encryption for the platform's inbox on a global scale. The move marks a major reversal from Meta, which had previously promoted end-to-end encryption, E2EE, as the strongest form of messaging privacy, where only the sender and receiver can read the content.
and Banu. A powerful explosion following the reported crash of a quadcopter drone injured 8 people, including women, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Banu district on Friday night. Security agency immediately launched an investigation into the matter as panic spread in the area.
Security forces killed 5 terrorists in 2 separate engagements in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa's Tank and Dera Ismail Khan districts, said the Inter-Services Public Relations on Friday. In Tank district, an intelligence-based operation was conducted on the reported presence of quarry. The government raised the price of petrol by 14.92 per litre and that of high-speed diesel, HSD, by 15 on Friday. Following the increase, the price of petrol stands at 414.78 per litre and HSDs at 414.58.